Social media etiquettes. Are social media etiquettes important? Yes, we must carefully evaluate how we conduct ourselves online because it determines what kind of digital citizen we are. We do not have to choose between a set of straightforward contradictions in this situation. Our online manners and conduct need us to give careful consideration to numerous choices that we might often take for granted. Consider the concept of netiquette, or simply net etiquette, as one helpful method to approach this. Virginia Shea outlined 10 etiquette rules to help especially those just getting started online on what to do. These will also serve as starting points for more seasoned users. Every website or social media platform we use has its own culture and protocol. Shea's guidelines are made to make it easier for us to use both new and seasoned online services. Rule number 1. Remember the human. Online, it can be simple to lose sight of the human element. Remember this: the individuals you're dealing with online are actual people, not just names or avatars. Despite all the advantages, the internet frequently dehumanizes others, especially when communicating with people you do not directly know. Remembering the human is crucial in this regard. Never communicate with someone online in a way that you would not communicate with them in person. It is also helpful to keep in mind that communications made online are almost always recorded and stored. These recordings will be used as evidence against you if you behave improperly. Rule number 2. Know where you are. Each website has its own rules on etiquette. In one setting, something could be acceptable but not in another. For instance, how you act on Facebook will be extremely different from how you act on university web pages and discussion forums. Shea offers the wise counsel to lurk before you leap. Watch and observe how users interact and communicate when you approach a new website. Feel free to participate once you have seen their behavior and have a sense of what is appropriate. Rule number 3. Be ethical. People largely uphold the law in daily life, but when you're online, it might be simple to let your morals fall. Illegal movie streaming, illicit music downloading, and copyright infringement are still against the law. That is the equivalent of shoplifting over the internet. For businesses and artists, these actions result in a significant loss of income. Artists, businesses, internet service providers, and law enforcement organizations continue to pursue legal action against those who access or use their material unlawfully. Law breaking is still improper online behavior. Everything we do online has ethical repercussions, just like any other choice we make. The judgments you make online show your ethical principles, even though they may not always be related to the law. Choose carefully the type of online citizen you want to be. Rule number 4. Respect other people's time and data limits. It will take other people's time to read everything you post online, email, or share. It's your responsibility to ensure that the time they spend reading your post isn't wasted, claims Shea. It is crucial that you send messages to the appropriate recipients. It is far too simple to message everyone on your contact list with modern technologies. Instead, you should take the time to target your audience and concentrate your message. You can do it by directing your contributions to the right networks through social media networks, such that ResearchGate is excellent for intellectual conversations, whereas Facebook is fantastic for personal matters. When addressing data constraints or bandwidth, it is vital to acknowledge storage and network speed limits. Before transmitting something, it is important to consider how the recipient will access the material. Large files can take some time to download, even with ultra-fast fiber optic, so users need to have the storage space to keep what they have downloaded. By being sensible with what you send or share, you may help individuals conserve their data, allowance, and time. Provide information to those who need it. Compress files as necessary and only send it once. Rule number 5. Make yourself look good online. Be cautious when sharing information. Never share anything embarrassing, unlawful, or indecent online. You might be found online by someone you have never even met. Ensure that you leave a positive impression. Always make sure your writing and sharing is clear and grammatically sound. If you don't explain yourself clearly, it's difficult for others to read what you've written. Swearing should be avoided in general, but if you must, it might be a good idea to filter out with euphemisms or asterisks. Internet interactions have the power to greatly affect your gender, weight, general look, name, religion, and race won't be known to the people you communicate with unless you disclose such personal information. You can benefit from this privacy. Rule number 6. Share expert knowledge. The majority of internet services are based on the idea of sharing. You have something to give if you have knowledge in a particular field. By sharing your knowledge, other users benefit from you. As part of this, you can share your experiences, both good and bad. If you've made any mistakes, being open about them can help others avoid making the same ones. It is a good idea to give a summary of the responses if you have ever asked users for their input. This made it possible for everyone to gain from the solutions and not require everyone to perform the same synthesis. Nothing dishonest should ever be posted online. Falsehoods, errors, and blunders can spread quickly and be believed to be true in the online world. It is your duty to make sure that your contributions are accurate. Make sure that your audience understands your viewpoint or views if you are presenting them. Rule number 7. Keep disagreements healthy. Disagreements will always arise, and that is okay. These disputes might be on contentious topics such as politics, religion, or philosophy, or they can be over seemingly unimportant things. It is crucial to show respect for the other participants in any such debate while you are participating in one. Never let the conversation turn to personal matters, and keep bad language away from the conversation. If you are going to say something bad, make sure it is constructive and helpful. Rule number 8. Respect other people's privacy. You can have exclusive access to details about someone and what they share if you are networked to them on a website like Facebook or Instagram. You must be sure that by sharing any of the content that has been made available to you, you are not going against anyone's wishes. Also, it is important to note that you should never access another person's computers, mobile devices, or accounts without that person's consent. Rule number 9. Do not abuse your power. If you happen to be an administrator, facilitator for any online environment such as an FB group account, make sure that you do not misuse the privilege of access that your position may grant you. You don't have the right to take advantage of others just because you know more than they do or have more power than they do. Rule number 10. Be forgiving of other people's mistakes. Everybody once began as an internet newbie. Be understanding when someone makes a mistake, whether it is a spelling mistake or a spelling flare, a silly inquiry, or an excessively long response. You might not need to mention anything if the mistake is minimal. Even if you have strong feelings about it, pause before responding. Even if you practice decent manners, you should not feel free to correct everyone else. If you do choose to correct someone, do so nicely and preferably by email rather than in front of other people. Assume that they simply don't know any better and give them the benefit of the doubt. And never act haughtily or smugly about it. Similar to how spelling flares are invariably misspelled, notes pointing out bad netiquette are frequently evidence of bad netiquette.